This is a video on mathematics for the students of class 7, and the topic for discussion today is integers. So let's begin. Integers. So before that, let us read what are whole numbers. So whole numbers, we know the numbers that begin from 0, 1, 2, 3. So all these numbers are your whole numbers. Whereas 1, when the number begins from 1, these are your natural numbers. So basically integers are the whole numbers because these numbers begin, I won't say it begins, but the number series which begins from 0, 1 to 3 are your integers. But not just the positive numbers, integers also comprise of the opposite numbers or the negative numbers. So the negative numbers are -1, -2, -3, and it continues. That means all the positive and negative numbers comprise of integers, including 0. So 0, we know it is neither a positive number nor a negative number. So integers are the set of all positive and negative numbers are called integers. So if you see the number line, you have numbers from -3, -2, -1, 0, 1 to 3. Now if you see, all the negative numbers from -1 to -3 are called your negative integers because these are your negative numbers. So all the negative numbers are called negative integers, whereas all the positive numbers are your positive integers. Now as you move to the right on a number line, you see that the value of the integers increase. That means if you're moving from 1 to 2, so your value has increased by 1. If you move towards the right, that the value of the numbers keep on increasing, whereas if you move towards the left on the number line, the value of these numbers keeps on decreasing. So -1 is actually greater than -2. So this is the difference between the positive and the negative integers. Now, before looking into few sums, let us first read about some of the properties that are concerned with the addition of integers. Now, first property that we are going to read is commutative property. Now, what is a commutative property? Now, irrespective of the position of the integers, the answer that we get remains the same. For example, if I write 5 plus -6, our answer is -1. Now, if I change the position of 5 and -6, my answer continues to remain the same. So this property is your commutative property. That means irrespective of the position of the numbers, if you're adding the two integers, the answer that you will be getting is the same. Now, second property is your closure property. Now, closure property means sum of any two integers is an integer. So we know that all the positive and negative numbers are integers. 0 is also an integer, though it is neither positive nor negative. That means whatever number exists are your integers. Now whenever you add two different numbers, the answer that you're going to get will obviously remain an integer. So whether it is 8 plus 7, 8 is an integer, 7 is an integer, so the answer that you're getting is also an integer. Similarly, -9 plus 5. So if you solve this number, here also you're getting your answer, which is a negative integer. Though -9 is a negative integer and 5 is a positive integer, when you solve them, so we know that there is a two different signs. So value of -9 is less, though the number, if you see, 9 is greater than 5 and the symbol that 9 is holding is negative, so your answer will remain negative. So -9 plus 5 gives you -4. So both are integers and the answer that you get is also an integer. Moving on. Our next property is an associative property, and it states that whether we group different numbers in any order, our answer remains the same. Like for example, we have two numbers, suppose A, B and C. Now what you see, if you see the equation properly, I have grouped A plus B within the brackets plus C. The answer that I'm getting is D. Now whether I group, because all are positive numbers, so I can actually arrange it in any order. It is very similar to your commutative property also. So what happens now, instead of grouping A plus B in the second case, I have grouped C and B, and A is outside the bracket. Now even if I am adding these numbers in both the equation, I've added the numbers in different orders, the answer that I'm getting is D itself. Now I've explained this equation with an example. I've taken three numbers 4, 5 and 6. Now well, in the first case I have grouped 4 plus 5 and then I've added 6. So the answer that I got is 15. But whereas in the second case, you see I have grouped 6 and 5. So the answer that I'm getting is again 15. So what happens is, irrespective of the position or irrespective of the grouping of numbers, the answer that I'm getting is 15, or the answer that I'm getting is same. So this is your associative property. Actually, because all the values are being added, there is no negative sign, so there is no reason of having a different answer. Since all the numbers are positive integers, so you get a positive answer, and all the answers are similar in both the cases. Now second property is your distributive property. Now what happens is, distributive property is a very common property because it helps and it makes our calculations easier. Now suppose I've used an example of 4 plus 6, which is to be multiplied to 5. Now what we usually do is, I've used a very simple number here, but it is very helpful when you have to multiply larger numbers. Like if I give you to multiply 1024 to 5 or 6, in those cases it will become actually easier for you to solve. So though I've shown you here with a very simple example like 4 plus 6, which is to be multiplied to 5. Now what happens is, I have actually broken the number. That means when we have a multiplication sign between the numbers within the brackets, what happens is, first you will multiply 5 to the first number, that is 4. So 5 is to be multiplied by 4. Since there is a positive sign between 4 and 6, so we bring this positive sign outside and then multiply 5 into 6. So what happens is, we know 5 into 4 is 20, 5 into 6 is 30. So the answer that we get is 50. So this is how we solve sums with the distributive property. It actually makes us simplify difficult or complex equations. So these are all the properties of the addition of integers. This entire video has been an introductory video. I have actually tried to explain you what integer is, and to begin with, I have used different properties of integers for addition of numbers. Now I have given some sums or some simple sums for you to solve. Please try these questions, and if you feel that you've not understood any particular property or any particular topic, you can always ask. I like to discuss question number 4 because it's little different, and I've explained this topic. Now you have 9 into 104. I've given you a hint here that you have to use distributive property in solving this kind of sum. So you have multiplication sign here and you have 104. So what you can do is, you can actually break the number into 100 plus 4. So what happens now, you can multiply 9 into 100 plus 9 into 4. So 9 into 100 gives you 900, and 9 4s are 36. So 900 plus 36 gives you 936. So you see how using distributive property such big numbers could be easily multiplied. So this question number 6 is also similar to question number 4. If you have textbooks, please solve more of this kind of sums. Let us discuss one problem sums. Now question number 2, if you see, Kriti deposited rupees 24,300 in a bank on Monday. So there is actually a deposit of rupees 24,300 in your bank, and he withdrew rupees 7,000 and 3,500 on Tuesday and Wednesday respectively. That means his deposit means your balance of your bank account is increasing. Now as I withdraw or as I withdrew, the balance keeps on decreasing. So I've taken out money. So what you have to do when you withdraw money, your bank balance decreases. So you have to subtract 7,000 and 3,500 from this amount. So 24,300 minus 7,000 minus 3,500. Now whatever balance is left, that will be your balance at the end of Wednesday. Now next part of the question is telling that he had deposited rupees 18,000 on Friday. So on Friday he had again deposited money. That means deposit is there. So your bank balance is actually increasing. So whatever balance you get after subtracting 7,000 and 3,500, 18,000 is to be added to that amount. So that much amount will be left in his bank at the end of Friday. So these are some questions. You can solve some more examples from your book, and in the next video I'll be explaining to you about properties of integers while we subtract them, and multiplication and division of numbers. That's all we have from the video today. Thank you.